The chain?
Yeah, I don't know. Like all the beads were like.
Oh, I see. That's really cool, Annabelle. Did you make one too? Exactly. So I'll have you come over here. Here, let's practice right now, and you'll be about there. Why don't you practice all day? Get your spot.
Sorry.
Is there anyone you want to bring up with you? So this is Lewis. Who are you?
He's Benji.
Benji, nice to meet you. I'm the rabbi. That's a pleasure. Where are you guys coming in from?
Pittsburgh.
Did you drive? Was it hard? Snowy? Icy?
Yeah.
I'm glad you got here in one piece.
So I'd be here.
Yep.
Yep. Lead it.
It's on, trust me. Okay.
Yeah, Lewis.
This.
Make
Yeah. Annabelle, you made your yacht, didn't you? It's beautiful.
How do you make a yacht?
Ask Annabelle. So you pick the different pieces that you want to use for your and then you put them together. You screw them together.
Wait, onto like a yacht?
Yeah, exactly right. It's like onto a bar and then you cap it.
Okay.
Put that right there. Okay, no. Benji, we've had microphones broken before. I don't think your mom wants an $800 bill. Trust me.
I don't.
Exactly. We tried to lay the bill on the last person, and that mom was like, not paying it.
Oh my goodness.
It's like your fault for putting the microphone out. I was like,
You're a good jumper. I saw that. Ooh, these flowers are so pretty. These are the flowers? Yeah. They're so pretty. Hi, Sarah Gallagher. Nice to meet you.
here, I will. going to be Francine and Brianna. Who are they?
Justin's parents.
Okay, good. And then Lyle.
His brother.
Okay. So Francine and Brianna. And then David. No. Francine and Brianna.
My parents are Lori, Amy, and Alan.
Great. I'm going to make a note. I'll be right back.
Oh, yeah, perfect. You already have that first.
And what should come up?
I don't know. You can just say both of their names and then just say, but if you only want to be something.
And they'll speak from here just because there's no one there. So we're going to start with candle lighting and I'll go from there.
Feel free to.
Not at all. That's all I need. Shabbat Shalom. Hine matov u'manayim. It's not on. Shabbat Achim. Can you hear me? Meg, can you hear me? Is this on? Okay, here we go. Hine matov u'manayim. Shabbat Achim gam yachad. Hine matov u'manayim. Shevet Achim gam yachad. Hine matov. Shevet Achim gam yachad. Hine matov. Shevet Achim gam yachad. Hine matov u'manayim. Shevet Achim gam yachad. Which is the line from the Psalms that says how wonderful it is to be sitting together with brothers and sisters and family and friends, and that's exactly what we're doing right now. I hope your pilgrimage from all the different places that you've been coming from, as we say in the words of the prophets, for those who came from near and those who came from far. I'm so happy to see everyone gathered together to start this weekend together, to start things off right. I think ending things right and beginning things right are part of the key to the wisdom of life. We're going to start with the candle lighting blessing. I know I've pre-lit them because we had to light them before dark, but I'll tell you, I didn't do the blessing. So just as when we kind of pull our hands away and we say, oh, there's the light, after we say the blessing, so you can imagine that the light just suddenly appeared and it was not lit before sunset. So it is my honor to call up the nuclear family at this time. I'm going to call up Justin and Taryn and Mason and Annabelle for the candle lighting. And please rise. So come over here. Let's do it over here. I know your back is going to be to everybody. I know. Now let's go back the other way. We'll circle 7 times. No, so come around here. I know your back is to, but we're all, and we'll face the candles. Okay. Yep. And follow my lead. We're going to for everybody. Let's start off the Shabbat right, which is the tradition is we gather in the light, and then we sort of open up to the beginning of Shabbat. So I know you've probably been doing a million things or 1,000 things just to get here and get through the snow and to clean up things at home, I can imagine. So let's start all at the same time on that third opening. So let's gather in the light. 1, 2, 3. Hold it together and let's sing the blessing. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kidshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lehadlik ner shel Shabbat. Amen. We open our eyes. Shabbat shalom. Let's be seated. It is our tradition that following candle lighting, we have blessings for our children and grandchildren. And so tonight, I'm going to invite those blessings to come first from Alan and Amy, if Amy wants to come up as well, and then from Francine and Graham. So at this time, can I call up Amy and Alan and to take my place here by the microphone? And when I say blessings, blessing doesn't mean a particular formula. It doesn't mean Baruch atah Adonai. It means what's in your heart.
Okay. Hello, everyone. Shabbat shalom. Well, Annabelle, you made it. It's your bat mitzvah weekend. Bubby and I are so happy to be here with you. We have been so impressed by the work you've done the past year, getting ready for this weekend, getting ready with the prayers and your readings and the celebration. We've enjoyed watching it. And
You are wonderful.
I'm going to use two words we talked about earlier this week. You bring lots of nachas to your parents and your grandparents and your whole family and your whole community. And we are all kvelling. We love you so much.
Yes, we do.
And we have so enjoyed watching you grow into the young woman that you are and are becoming.
And are now.
And we have enjoyed watching you as you handle your academics and your athletics and your family and your dogs. And we really have enjoyed these 13 years, and we look forward to seeing what the next 13 years bring, and the 13 after that, and on and on. We love you.
We love you very much.
And Francine and Graham.
We are blessed to be able to be here and wish you all a Shabbat Shalom on this very special occasion. It's great to welcome the community and the family from far and wide to be here and to share in our joy for all of you. Very special. And again, lots of nachas and joy. Thank you.
That's the 11th commandment. Give grandparents a hug after they say how much they love you. You know, we're going to start the service on the bottom of page 5 with Shalom Aleichem. And you probably know that we often start Shabbat with Shalom Aleichem, but I want to ask you to think of it in a special way tonight. So there are 4 verses to Shalom Aleichem on the bottom half of page 5 in the Lev Shalem, in our Siddur. And there is a Hasidic teaching that these actually represent 5 life cycle, sacred life cycle events in the life of a Jewish person. And we're at one of them. And it's a beautiful teaching because I know for many of you, you probably understand the wisdom of saying that in some ways life is long and in some ways life is short. But what really stands out are times like this where people gather all together, and it takes a lot of effort and a lot of purpose and a lot of intentionality to come together in very, very special moments of holy transition. So Shalom Aleichem is almost the same words of every verse except the beginning. And the first of the 4 is Shalom Aleichem, which is Shalom to you. And that is considered to be 2 people falling in love and getting married. You know, a very special Shalom Aleichem. I just listened to NPR today, and they were like telling stories of people falling in love. And it really was like, I saw her at the public library, and I asked her what time it was. And it's that Shalom Aleichem, like, hi, and now I'm going to run away because I'm shy. And trying to, how do you approach someone and fall in love? So the first Shalom Aleichem is falling in love and getting married. Boachem l'shalom means not just peace to you, but now come in peace. That is the baby naming. That is where 2 people, they may know it and they may not know it, but when they're in love, they are wishing for a soul to come to them. Boachem l'shalom. Come, souls in peace. Mason over there and Annabelle over here. even if it's unconscious prayer, it's a beckoning. Boachem l'shalom. Come and make a family with us. So that's the baby naming. Barchuni l'shalom is the bat mitzvah, because it means bless me in peace. That's when the person that we've been raising has reached the moment of maturity. And now we kind of get to pull back and we say, you're a blessing to us, right? You teach me how to, do this update in Windows. You teach me how to use the Chrome extension. You teach me how to use the telephone, whatever it is. But it is a time where you're kind of marveling at this young person and saying, I think she's teaching me now. You are now a blessing to me. And that's really what this transition weekend is about. Feeling that transition to who is this amazing person? It's time for us we're receiving blessings from her. And then Seitchem L'Shalom is when she's released to make her own family at the next life cycle event. May she experience the covenant of unconditional and beautiful love and trust. So we are at the third of the verse. Will you sing with me and just think of a special prayer for Annabelle for this weekend when we hit the third one? Think about, she's a blessing to us. What do I wish for her in this sacred moment? Shalom Aleichem, Malachei HaSharet, Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech, Malachei Hamlachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Boachem l'shalom, Malachei HaShalom, Malachei Elyon. Mi melech malachei hamlachim hakadosh baruch hu. We're there. Barchuni l'shalom malachei hashalom malachei elyon. Mi melech malachei hamlachim hakadosh baruch hu. Seitchem l'shalom, malachei hashalom, malachei elyon. Mi melech, malachei hamlachim hakadosh baruch hu. The Friday night service actually officially begins on 39A. But don't turn to 39A yet, because we're not there yet. So you may notice we're all the way back on page 11. I will let you go forward from page 5 to page 11. We are not going to do every page between 11 and 39. But what I want to say about it is all these extra pages were added by the Jewish mystics in the 16 and 1700s. And they added it. These are people who experienced the Spanish Inquisition, the experience of being persecuted for being a Jew and not having any safe haven. And the ones who wrote this service and came up with it, they traveled to the land of Israel. Many of them lost their wives and their spouses and family members along the way. And they settled in Tzfat, in the town of Tzfat in northern Israel, and they experienced the beauty of getting to be a Jew in their homeland. And part of the writing of this service, of assembling psalms and mystical poems that they themselves wrote, was they imagined all the people who had never made it there, because they lived under persecution. So we just had grandparent blessings a few moments ago, and I'm going to ask you, instead of doing all the pages, to just go back in your mind. I want to think of all the people, all the Jews whose names are lost to us, people who are our own relatives, or people who are from our tribe that we may not be directly related to. For thousands of years, they wished for the Jewish homeland to be reestablished because they lived under persecution and often the inability to express their Judaism openly and publicly. And they wrote this beautiful service wishing for a time that we live in, when Israel is established yet again, and people are free to be Jews in their country. So let's sing what was the Pilgrim Psalm. They put in page 11, they brought the psalm of making a pilgrimage to the land of Israel, and they put it here, because they knew that most people would never make it, and never did make it. Let's share our gratitude for our homeland, our gratitude for this family, and their connection that they've been making to our homeland as we sing the top of the psalm together. Lechu niranena l'Adonai, Nariya litzor yishenu, Nikadma fanav betoda, Bismiro narihalom. And for those who made it to the land of Israel doing a pilgrimage, even under all the other dominions of the territory, they would put their baggage down and say these words of gratitude for having reached it. I ask all of you to put down your baggage that you came with heading into the weekend, be unencumbered for the joyous celebration of this Shabbat with Annabelle and each other. We chant from the end of the psalm, it's on page 12. We say, let us not bring in any spirit of criticism or complaint, for that chases away the spirit of gratitude. Arba'im shana akut bedor, v'omar am tohe levavhem, v'hem lo yadu dirachan, asher nishbati v'api im yavun el menuchati. We're going to skip a few pages. I'm going to take you through them just mentally without reading all of the Hebrew. The Hebrew they provided here, the Psalms they assembled, said the following. Everything is singing to God. Every blade of grass, every fish in the sea. If you were like God and could put your ear in the ocean or the stream or the trees, you would hear music coming from that which is making life. And it's a song of harmony and peace and playing off of each other and collective praise and enjoyment and a sense of being connected. But we don't feel that because of injustice. Injustice is like a cloud that prevents us from connecting and sharing in this choir with each other and with all of life. So let us realize and attempt to connect through our faithfulness to the sense that there's something greater beyond ourselves, an arc that bends toward justice, because there is a singing that is happening all around us in nature and coming from God that is saying that goodness and kindness and justice truly are possible. And that brings us entirely to page 23 for Lecha Dodi, that we wish to join in with this song, breaking through the cloud to the connection beyond. Lecha Dodi likra kahala b'nei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha Dodi likra kahala b'nei Shabbat nekabela. 23. Shamor v'zachor b'diborecha hishmianu el hamyuchad Adonai echad uhu shemo echad l'shem ul tiferet v'litila. Lecha Dodi likra kahala b'nei Shabbat nekabela. Likrat Shabbat lechu v'necha ki mekor haberacha merosh mikedem nesucha sof maaseh b'machshava techila. Lecha Dodi likra kahala b'nei Shabbat nekabela. Mikdash melech Melucha kumitzei mitoch hafecha rav lach shevet behemek abacha behu yachamol alaychem la. Lecha Dodi likra kahala b'nei Shabbat. Page 25. V'hayu limshisa shosa yiferaku kol mivalahich yasisa lahich Elohai kimsos chatan Kahala. Lecha Dodi likra kahala b'nei Shabbat nekabela. Yamin usma'ol tifrozi v'yet Adonai taritzi al yadish ben parzi v'nismecha V'nagila, please rise. Lecha dodi. And let's face the entrance and welcome in the spirit of Shabbat. Bo'i v'shalom aterepala gam besimcha u'v'tzahala toch emunei am segula bo'i chala lecha dodi li'ikra kala Shabbat Shalom. We may be seated. So now that we've assembled as family and as friends and as community, and we've invited the Spirit of God into our assembly, let's take a moment of silence. I want you to send a blessing Annabelle's way. And even if you're a congregant, you're like, I wasn't even expecting Annabelle tonight. I'm just getting to know her. I'd like you to join in. Everyone, let's take a moment of silence. Send a positive vibe, a positive vibration, a positive thought, a wish for this Shabbat, the whole thing, even into the party tomorrow night, for Annabelle. Amen. The Shabbat Psalm on page 27 and 28 says, may every morning you wake up with kindness, someone expressing kindness and love, and may you go to bed each night with someone that you trust to watch over you. Annabelle, I hope you know that those blessings coming your way, or you have a room full of people who love and express kindness and chesed for you, and that you can count on when those times of trust are needed. Ujunuvan b'seheva d'shenim v'rananim yihu lihagi ki yashar Adonai tzuri v'lo avlata bo. With these special preliminary prayers now complete and getting ready to start the official service of the evening, we're on page 30 for an initial Mourner's Kaddish. At this time, I read those yortzites that are coming up this week, as well as those others for whom we are saying Kaddish. And I'm going to read that list tonight. And in a moment, we'll be on page 30. Fifth Israel congregation remembers, and I can see the lights lit up for those who have plaques, the yortzites of Gertrude Altman, Barbara Altman, Eva Benjamin, Reuben Bergman, Meyer Norman Berman, Minnie Berman, Iris Bernstein, Burton Kane. I didn't realize it's already that time. Harold Cohen, Rose Dauberson, Fanny Epstein, Gerald Friedman, Rose Friedman, Stacy Gerber, Otto Graf, Olga Hearn, Judith Finkelstein-Kashtin, Florence Kirshen, Joyce Kaczynski, Sipora Levy, William Lefline, Joyce Levine, Louis Lipnick, Eva Landa, David Markel, Fanny Moshewitz, Shirley Pitt, Ann Pont, William Paul Regan, Milton B. Ressler, Harry Rice, Cantor Moses Rontal, Irving Schmerling, Herman Schoem, Shelley Sherry, Samuel Singer, Harry Siskin, Sheen Solvith, Morton Stubbins, Leah Tobes, Dr. Leslie Morton Werbo, and Benjamin Wolin. As we continue to say Kaddish, Marion Sachs-Jacob, Alan Neil Weiss, Leah Axelrod, Barbara George, Howard Rubenstein, Alan Silverman, Otto Weinlinger, Oded Osfeld, Irving Kaplan, Harvey Goldsmith, Muriel Gluckman, Daniel Goldstein, Eric Ostad, Myron Winkelman, Evie Lichter, David Amanoth, Sam Silver, Shirley Kleinman, Dorothy Friedman, Claire Kirpich, Edward Ball, Elliot Sorrell, Joan Moises Scobie, Lori Lichter, Mitch Rikus, and Muriel Zuckerman. And is there anyone who is saying Kaddish tonight, and I didn't read the name of the person they're saying Kaddish for? Because you're welcome to say that name now. For those who are reciting Kaddish, please rise and recite with me. Yigadal v'yikadash shemei Rabbah, v'yalma divrach kirutei v'yamlich malchutei, v'chayechon u'vyomechon u'v'chayei d'chol Beit Yisrael, ba'agala u'vizman kari v'imru, Amen. Yehe shmei Rabbah mevarach le'olam u'lamei amaya. Yiparach v'yishtabach v'yipa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh, v'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal shmei d'kudesha richu le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata tushbechata v'nechemata da'amiran bi'ama v'imru amen. Yehe shlama rabba min shemaya v'chayim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Oseh shalom b'mramav, hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru. Will everyone please rise? May their memories bring blessings. 39a. Baruch et Adonai hamevorach. Baruch Adonai hamevorach le'olam va'ed. We may be seated. Baruch et Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bivaro mariv haravim. El chai v'kayam tamid yimloch aleinu le'olam va'ed. Baruch et Adonai hamariv haravim. We turn to page 40. We're getting ready for the Shema on page 41. Before we say the Holy Shema together, we have always a special paragraph. You can see this version for tonight, which is about how we have received God's love. And the way we receive God's love is by being able to understand the world around us. We foster curiosity, try to learn wisdom from others, and experience this cosmic love of actually getting to try to understand the world we live in and how to live in it. Let's sing together. Ahavat olam Beit Yisrael Amcha ahavta Torah u'mitzvot Chukim u'mishpatim Otanu limadeta Al kein Adonai Eloheinu V'shachveinu v'kumeinu Nasiach b'chukecha V'nismach b'divrei Toratecha U'v'mitzvotecha Le'olam va'ed Ki hem chayenu v'orech yameinu V'orech yameinu Uvahem nege Yomam v'layla V'avatcha tasimenu lamihim Baruch ata Adonai Ohev amo Yisrael Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. Together for the V'ahavta on 41. V'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha B'chol levavcha u'b'chol nafshecha u'b'chol me'odecha v'hayu hadvarim ha'ele asher anochi mitzavecha hayom al levavecha v'shinantam levanecha v'dibarta bam B'shivtecha b'veitecha uvlechtecha b'derech uv'shachpecha uv'kumecha ukshartam li'ot al yadecha v'hayu letotafot beinenecha uktavtam al mezuzot beitecha uvisharecha. We continue silently for 42 and 43, which express the fact that if we are living a holy life collectively, then we will be at one with the environment, and if we are failing to do so, we will notice in the environmental consequences. Adonai Elohechem Emen Amenakol Sovekayim Aleinu. Continue on page 44. ומלכותו ברצון קיבלו עליהם משה ומרים ובני ישראל לחנוכה בשמחה הרבה ויאמרו כולם מי כמוך באלים אדוני מי כמוך נדר בקודש נהרה תהילות ספלה מלכותך ראו בניך בוקע ים לפני משה זה אלינו ויאמרו אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד ונאמר כי פדה אדוני יעקב גואלם בסך ממנו ברוך אתה אדוני גאל ישראל. On page 45, we ask for a special prayer over the land of Israel. May a protective barrier stand over it and protect the land from attack. May the people therein feel peace. May they feel hope. May they feel the security. And may they feel our prayers. Let's read together in English on 45. Allow us, Adonai, our God, to sleep peacefully. Awaken us to life, O Sovereign. Spread over us your canopy of peace. Restore us with your good counsel. And save us for the sake of your name. Shield us. Remove from us enemies, pestilence, sword, starvation, and sorrow. Remove the evil forces that surround us. Shelter us in the shadow of your wings, for you, God, watch over and deliver us. And you, God, are sovereign, merciful, and compassionate. Ensure our going and coming for life and peace now and forever. May you spread over us your canopy of peace. Baruch atah Adonai, who spreads the canopy of peace over us, over all the people of Israel, and over Jerusalem. 46. V'shamru v'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat la'asot et ha-Shabbat l'dorotam berit olam be'eni uvein b'nei Yisrael oti le'olam ki sheshet yamim asa Adonai et hashamayim v'et haaretz uvayom hashvi shavat vayinavash. So on page 46 in the middle, we're getting ready for a silent prayer. When we have our silent Amidah, there's nothing that's standing between you and your higher power. We invite you to connect to it in a moment. I'm going to share a brief teaching, because usually there's some kind of teaching that gets us oriented to that mood. So this is a teaching that comes from the psychiatrist Wendy Mogul, the child psychiatrist. Some of you may have read her book, Blessing of a Skinned Knee, and this is a reading that comes from that book. So if you don't know Wendy Mogul, let me tell you a little bit about her background. She was an LA child psychiatrist, and she decided that she felt that she was getting more and more business, and she was concerned. She was concerned that so many young people were struggling. And she decided, because she had the privilege in a sense to do it, to take a year off from her practice and to study Jewish teachings everywhere. She went to Orthodox synagogues, Reform synagogues, conservative synagogues, wherever she could go, and she took a course every night to learn about the tradition. And she wrote a book called Blessing of a Skinned Knee that shared what she had learned from Judaism and how it related to the raising of children. And she called her book The Blessing of Skinned Knee, and this is a reading from it. She's operating off of a commentary on the Exodus. The commentary on the Exodus, which is a famous legend for many of us who study, which is that only 1/5 of Jews who were offered the chance to leave slavery actually left and ever made it to crossing the Red Sea, because the other 4/5 were more comfortable in the place that they were than in facing the unknown. Jewish wisdom holds that our children don't belong to us. They are both a loan and a gift from God, and the gift has strings attached. Our job, the Jewish tradition teaches, is to raise our children to leave us. The children's job is to find their own path in life. If they stay carefully protected in the nest of the family, children will become weak and fearful, or feel too comfortable to want to leave. When we treat our children's lives like we're cruise ship directors who must get them to their destination, adulthood, smoothly, without their feeling the bumps or waves, we are depriving them, because those bumps are part of God's plan. The word Egypt means places of being constricted and feeling the desire to be unbound and freed. And one has to go to the places of constriction in order to go to the place of self-determination and freedom. If we overprotect our children, we enslave them with our fears. If we give them the freedom to develop strength through overcoming difficulties, they will be with the 1/5 the legend tells us who had the courage to leave Egypt. So this process is not easy. We ask you to learn Hebrew. We ask you to give up a lot of your time and study with people like Ben and myself and Meg. We ask you to do the hardest thing that we do in Judaism, which is to read from the Torah tomorrow without any of the vowels, any of the musical notations, and any of the punctuation. We ask you to do it perfectly. And we know that at least 80% of Jews are incapable of doing that. Probably closer to 92%, 94% of Jews are incapable of doing that. Because it's something that even, although your mom has taken on learning it, it's something like the family can't do for you. It's something you have to turn these kids over to other people and watch them struggle. And so we have a very difficult rite of passage. And when you go through it, you know in a sense that you've accomplished something great. And you've accomplished something difficult. And if you can study toward a goal for 6 months, 8 months, how long have you been coming regularly to services? Over a year. If you can put in that kind of sustained effort toward a goal, you can write a thesis. You can graduate college. You can run a lab and run your own sets of experiments. You can be an architect and design something. So this challenge is our gift to you, and your gift of your family to you is to turn you over to it. And I'll end with this final words of hers from a different part of the book. Judaism requires us to be happy. We are supposed to enjoy doing all of this. When we express worry, our children come to see the world as overwhelming and threatening. And so we should all remember to practice the 20-minute rule. That's the limit of how much time per day we may worry about our children and grandchildren and nephews and nieces. Please rise for the silent Amidah. You're also welcome to do the liturgy, the readings at the sides of the pages, or just dwell on what you think is good advice that should be taken to heart. Yikada v'yikada shemei rabba v'yamad v'rakirte v'yamlich malchute v'chayechon uv'yomechon uv'chayei dechol beit Yisrael b'gala v'zman kariv ve'imeru amen. Yehi shmei rabba mevarach v'alam ulam me'amaya Yitbarach v'ishtabach v'yipar v'yitramam v'yinaseh v'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal shmei kudesha le'ela min kol berchata v'shirata tushbechata v'nechemata damiram b'yamha v'imheru. 47 to 52 in your own way, or just closing your eyes and your own personal meditations and thoughts. finished our prayers, we may be seated. And as those finish their prayers, don't let us rush you. Will you sing with me at the top of page 53? I know it says it is recited while standing, but that is not my custom. Vayechulu hashamayim v'haaretz v'chol tzivam vayechal Elohim bayom hashvihi melachto asher asa Vayishpot bayom hashvihi mikol melachto asher asa Vayevarech Elohim et yom hashvihi Vayekadesh oto Kivo shavat mikol melachto Kivo shavat mikol melachto Asher bara Elohim Asher bara Elohim la'asot Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu Ve'Elohei Avotenu v'Imotenu Elohei Avraham Elohei Yitzchak Ve'Elohei Yaakov Elohei Sarah Elohei Rivka Elohei Rachel Ve'Elohei Leah Ha'el Hagadol Hagibor V'Hanora El Elyon Konei Shamayim Va'aretz. I'm going to read the bottom paragraph in English tonight because I think we don't do it enough and it's really beautiful. God, who promised protection to our ancestors and assures life to the dead, the incomparable holy God, desired to give rest to the people Israel and so provided them with the holy Shabbat. We labor, we honor in awe and reverence in God's presence and offer thanks to God's name, each day, always. Source of blessings, master of peace, God, to whom all gratitude is due, sanctifies Shabbat and blesses the seventh day, providing sacred rest to a people filled with joy, celebrating it as a symbol of the work of creation. And will you read with me on page 54 at the top? Our God and God of our ancestors, embrace our rest. Make us holy through your mitzvot, and let the Torah be our portion. Fill our lives with your goodness and gladden us with your deliverance. Purify our hearts to serve you truly. Adonai, our God, lovingly and willingly grant that we inherit your holy Shabbat, that the people Israel who make your name holy may find rest on this day. Baruch atah Adonai, who makes Shabbat holy. Yikadal v'yikadash shemei rabba, v'yamad yivra kurete, v'yamlich malchute, b'chayechonu v'yamechonu v'chayetucho beit Yisrael, b'galav izman kari v'imeru. Yeheshme rabba mevarach, li'alam ulam me'amayim. Yiparach v'yishtabach v'yipar v'yitramam v'yinaseh v'yitadar v'yitala v'yitala shmeru kudesha le'ela mikol berchata v'shirata tishbchata v'nechemata damiram b'yama v'imeru tikabal tzlo tonavat honcho Yisrael kodam v'chon yishmaya v'imeru yesh amar rabba min shemaya v'chayim aleinu v'kol Yisrael v'imeru oseh shalom b'mromav hu yaseh shalom aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imeru. Amen. Please rise for Aleinu on page 56. Aleinu l'shameach Adon hakol v'teinu la'yoseh bereshit shalom asari v'goyei ha'atzot v'lo samanu mishpachot ha'adama shalom samtavinu kanem v'goralinu kechol ha'olam v'yanachnu We may be seated except for those reciting Mourner's Kaddish tonight on page 58. And I'm going to ask Annabelle and her family to stand for this Mourner's Kaddish. And because this Shabbat, you're saying Kaddish for all of your ancestors, all of the people who we're inviting into this Shabbat to be with you, because you are the fulfillment in so many ways of their hopes and dreams. This is also a special Shabbat for Mason, because his Aliyah tomorrow to the Torah is also a fulfillment of blessing, a blessing for him and a blessing he bestows upon all of us and his people. And so I want you to be saying Kaddish, because there are a lot of people who passed away generations and generations ago who lived for moments like this, that they knew they could trust that there would be this future. Mourner's Kaddish together. Yitgadal v'yikadash shemei Rabbah, bi'alma divra kirutei v'yamlich malchutei, v'chayechon u'vyomechon u'v'chayedecho beit Yisrael, ba'agala u'vizman kariv v'imru amen. Yehe shmei Rabbah mevarach le'olam la'me'amaya. Yiparach v'yishtabach v'yipa'ar v'yitromam v'yinaseh, v'yithadar v'yitale v'yitalal shmei d'kodesha grichu. Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechemata, v'amiran v'ama v'imru amen. Yehe shlama rabba min shemaya, v'chayim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Oseh shalom b'mromav, hu ya'aseh shalom, aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. May the memories bring blessings to this world as we can see unfold around us. We may be seated. I'll keep announcements short, we're going to finish with Kiddush. So Annabelle, I have a message for you and for everybody, which is when we started this Kabbalat Shabbat service, we started with Lechu Neranena, and then we said Arba'im Shana, and I said, when you bring in complaint, you chase away the spirit of Shabbat and the spirit of gratitude. So up until the moment of candle lighting, we were expecting you to study harder and harder and harder and try to be perfect, try to make everything perfect. There's nothing wrong with trying. The moment those candles were lit and your grandparents gave you blessings from their heart, that's where that stopped. You don't have to be perfect anymore. And there is no spirit of complaint during this weekend. If you make a mistake, or other relatives coming up to do the blessings over the Torah, okay, you're all on notice. Mistakes will happen. Things will happen over this weekend. Something's gonna spill. Someone else is gonna get here late. Someone's gonna not find parking. Any mistake you make tomorrow, it's meant to be. It's a sign. Maybe it's a sign that everyone should have a good laugh. Maybe it's a sign that we try to be perfect and we strive, but then there also comes a time just to do the ritual and be loved. So there's a hidden sign in everything that's going to happen, but don't worry anymore about being perfect. We just want you to be yourself, because otherwise we're going to be chasing away the spirit of this weekend. Please, everyone, rise for Kiddush. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, Borei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, Asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu, v'shabbat kodsho b'yahava uvratzon hinchilanu, zikaron l'maaseh v'reishit. Ki hu yom techila lemikra'e kodesh, zecher litziat Mitzrayim. Ki vanu v'charta, ve'otanu kidashta, mikol ha'amim, v'shabbat kodshecha, Yahava uvratzon hinchaltanu. Baruch atah Adonai mekadesh HaShabbat. Give me an amen. Shabbat shalom. Let's have a great weekend.